Hello everyone, Legion the Gala here today with a slightly different video. Instead of a comic book related video, I thought I'd talk a little bit about my main hobby, as comic books is a sort of like secondary hobby, which is Magic the Gathering. This is a trading card game that you can play in a variety of different ways, and like comic books or any other hobby, there is like elements of collectability to it. In particular with nice looking foil premium cards, or just rare cards in general, like most trading card games, where there is some form of like rarity system, or like an additional collectability value, in this case being old like foil versions of cards. So to give you guys some perspective on how much my like spending in this hobby comparatively to comic books, my most expensive comic book that I actually purchased was Batman issue 1 for the New 52. That was around like $50, $40. This deck here, which is 100 cards in total, this is a commander deck, which is a format in Magic. I think I spent close to $1,000 on this deck. It's not even complete yet. There's 2 cards I don't even own, and a bunch of the cards in here aren't even foiled yet. Just want to show it off a little bit. There isn't really much going on in comic books right now. In terms of actually just comic books, I'm really excited for, of course, Action 1000, Detective 1000, and Domino number 1. J. Scott Campbell's got some really nice looking variants for that. I always love Domino. I think Del Otto's also got like a pretty nice looking variant with the, Dakin. I think it's Dakin, but I really always like Domino. I love the character design. Shame that her first appearance is also Deadpool's first appearance, so that book's like crazy expensive. But yeah, really excited about those books. Probably gonna actually try and get some of the J. Scott Campbell variants, unless they're all sold out. But yeah, we'll show it off. A commander deck is basically a deck of cards where you have a legendary creature, as you can see here, as a commander who exists in like its own zone, and you can only play cards of this color in your deck, which is black or red or both. So as you can see, some of the cards here are foil, so you can see that there is a foiling done on the card, whereas cards like this are not foiled, they're just normal cards. So we got our commander, Grenzo. I'll point out some of the notably expensive cards, just to give like some sense of scale. So like I really wanted to do a video like this after I saw Comic Brains do a video on his Ultra Pro playmat. Noticed that he also had a deck, I think it was a standard deck or a modern deck. I'm not too sure, but pretty cool that other people in the community also enjoy playing Magic. So this deck is a combo deck. And yeah. There's some creatures here, a bunch of goblins, sacrifice outlets, guys to make more mana with. Nothing too fancy here. Don't play a whole lot of creatures in this deck, which is surprising given my General's ability. Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker, great card. I think I picked this up like actually 2 days ago. Cost me, I think it ran like 100 to get this guy, but really happy to get him. A lot of this is similar to comic books in terms of like first printings and stuff, because sometimes cards get reprinted. Their original set printing, so this is the set logo, so the original set printing is usually worth more because of age, and like old sets not having as higher print runs as like the newer releases. Zealous Conscripts, this one's also foil. So the goal was, my personal goal is to just foil out the whole deck. Metallic Mimic, this is all part of a combo. Murderous Redcap, and Simian's Red Guide for some more fast mana. Artifacts. There's quite a lot of artifacts in this deck because you want a lot of ramp. So we got Soul Ring, Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, Lotus Petal. These are all just ramp. Talisman of Indulgence, Mana Crypt Judge promo. So you can see the watermark there. Mana Vault, Felwar Stone, Signet, standard stuff. Springleaf Drum, haven't really actually foiled out the artifact section because artifacts can go into any deck, and they usually do because of how good they are, so they usually actually are more expensive. So these are all the actual ramp cards, and then some combo cards. Land's Eye Diamond, this card cost me a lot of money, like $180 I think it was, or 160, I'm not sure. Sensei's Divining Top because you always need it. Defense Grid, Protection, Scroll Rack for card selection and filtration. And we play one enchantment in the whole deck, which is Necroprotence, because this card's, it's kind of an auto include. Not actually, like, I think the worst card in the deck though. Instants and Sorceries. We have a lot of tutors in this deck. We got Vampiric Tutor, Judge promo, Undying Evils, just, you know, get a free buyback, some counter spells, gotta protect our combo, some removal spells, Rakdos Charm, you know, artifact removal, Slaughter Pack, just free removal, just some artifact removal, mini board wipes, a Catch-all Lancer, good against indestructible creatures, some combo cards, some rituals, some more like mana generation. So yeah, this hobby is actually like, it can be pretty expensive and it can also be pretty cheap. It depends like how you want to play it. Like there's some people who really enjoy the collecting aspect or the like pimping out the deck aspect, so like getting everything in foil. I certainly do fall into that category, but I don't really go as crazy as some people because I only really have like 2 to 3 decks assembled, like fully, that I commit to, and this being like one of them. This was a project I started last year. Dark Ritual. This is a nice foil I picked up in Japan. Yeah, so pretty cool. Plunge into Darkness, Nauseam, because it's a fair card. Doomsday, so this is the whole centerpiece of the deck. This is our main combo enabler. They just reprinted this with a foil version, so I'm trying to get that. Bubbling Muck. So yeah, I don't know, I always wanted to collect comic books, like go all in on it as like a hobby. And I've started to appreciate it a lot more because of like a university course I'm doing, which is like museum practices, which is basically about just collecting stuff. And I did a entire essay on just like the significance in a collection context or an exhibition context on Green Lantern 76, which is the start of the Green Arrow Green Lantern team up. So yeah, I just started really appreciating just like collecting as a whole, like as a hobby as a whole, but really wanted to get more into comic books. So I've been like actively looking like every day on internet and like local areas to see what people are selling. But you know, good university in the way, like traveling is like kind of annoying. Also like not many people sell a lot of stuff. Victimize, Yogwill, the standard stuff in the combo deck. Overmaster, Wheel of Fortune. I picked this one up in Hong Kong because Australia is really expensive. Rider Flame, this was a nice foil. Picked this up at a Grand Prix. Thoughtseize, Duress, Inquisition, Night's Whisper, just like card draw and disruption. Faithless Looting, foil. Got this one in the GP as well. Recoup, Pyroclasm. The one good thing about like collecting cards and stuff is that buying online is certainly a lot easier compared to buying comic books because, you know, they're small, easy to ship. Also, like, there's like eBay, like things similar to eBay, like a platform for people to sell their own cards. It's a lot more reliable, safer, and also like easier than eBay. And you know, there's just like major online sellers, and they all like seemingly follow like similar prices. Whereas in comic books, you really get a lot of like price gouging, depending who you shop from online and stuff, like eBay resellers, like big store online shops, so like who have like their own like variants, and they can like market however much they want because they're the only ones who get that variant, which is pretty not that fair. I got some board wiping, more removal. DT, gotta have DT. Gamble, Imperial Seal. This card was the one this was like the most expensive purchase I made at the GP, at the Grand Prix last year. This was $180. Yeah, just to give you guys a scope of how expensive this hobby can be. Like, for a while, like, some of the decks can go up to like $10,000, depending on like how old the cards are, because in this game, some of the cards, like the company who makes the game, Wizards of the Coast, they also like make D&D products, and they're part of Hasbro, who makes like Transformers and stuff. Anyway, like, they nearly crashed the secondary market once, so to like keep themselves in check, there's a list of cards that they'll never ever reprint, and a lot of them are very powerful cards that a lot of people do want to get reprinted. So like the value and scarcity of those cards actually do go up, which is like a good thing and a bad thing. Like, it's good that they're keeping their word, but it's bad that they set the precedent for it, so they're never actually going back on their word, or it's highly unlikely they will, because I think it's too late at this point. More tutors. Demon Machinations, got this at the Grand Prix as well. Dark Petition, foil. Predator's Grass. So yeah, this hobby is like, I don't know, it's really fun. Like, the competitive aspect of the game in other formats, like more popular formats, I would say, or more competitive formats, is certainly really fun. Like, the idea of you and another player just like playing 1v1 against each other and trying to outplay each other is always certainly fun. And you know, like, that feeling of competition is really hard to... It's similar to playing sports, except not much physical activity is involved, which is like, some people like that more than sports. We go to land-based. This is where like the cost of the game usually comes from, because the lands are your resource. They're like, in Hearthstone, they're like your mana crystals, and basically you need to have these to be able to play any of these cards, because they generate the colors to play cards in the top right corner. So generally, these are the most expensive cards in the game because of how important they are to like the core mechanics of the game. So we've got these fetch lands, these Zendikar fetch lands. I got these ones, just these three in foil. I think these three together ran me nearly 400, because this one's particularly expensive. Because some colors are just more powerful than others, and this is a good color combination, blue-red. So yeah, really, it's actually already like the fair price. I think I paid like $120 or $140 for this one. So I think altogether it was $300 to $400 for all three of these in foil. I got these. They came to my house last year, but I came back at the beginning of this year, so technically got them last year. More fetch lands. Eventually, the goal is to get everything in this deck foiled. So maybe I'll do a update video eventually down the line when the Grand Prix comes around to Sydney again in like 3 weeks. That should be really fun. It's a team event, so we play with 2 other teammates and we get like talk to each other, discuss what to be doing. It's a really cool event. So this is one of those like expensive cards I was talking about, because they will never reprint a card like this. This is part of a original cycle of very powerful lands, which count as 2 different like colors, and this effect is just very powerful. They've had to like make worse versions of this in recent sets, which are still also like relatively expensive, but I think this one at the time was like $75. Like, I did a trade for this one, but now it's shot up to like over 100. This is like the cheapest printing, because it's white bordered, not black bordered like all the other cards. Blood Crypt, RTR version, foil, Sulphur Springs. So these are all just lands. War, Graven Cans, Lake of the Dead. This card shot up in price randomly. Peat Bog, because I think it's also on the reserve list. City of Brass. Some Rainbow Lands, Mana Confluence, Command Tower, one Mountain, and a bunch of swamps. And then Ancient Tomb, and these are the 2 cards I don't have, so they're printed out proxies right now. So yeah, just a quick little video. Just wanted to show you guys, what another hobby that I really enjoy, something else that I do collect. And yeah, I don't know, like, I really truly do want to get into comic books and more serious into comic book collecting. It's just that the prices on some of the comic books and, like, the fluctuation of prices is just ridiculous because of, like, the movies and stuff really contribute to it. And also just, like, everyone prices their cards separately. Like, everyone prices their comics, like, different, like, slightly differently from each other, so they value different things more, and there's, like, graded comics. There's all these different things, which is, like, really, really annoying. And, like, hard to deal with because, like, you're constantly trying to, like, price check with, like, different vendors at, like, conventions and stuff. So it's, like, really, sometimes it's just really hard, but I will make an effort to try and, you know, this year get more serious about comic book collecting. While trying to, you know, budget properly for it. Because a lot of it's going into here. So yeah, until next time, this has been Legion of Guile.